And we're going to load the game so that we can get to our setup start. Now this one, the developers have locked the units in place. Yeah, so I wasn't able to reposition my starting points. But I have sort of given my deployments. We only have one tank platoon here, so one tank platoon. So I've split it off in 2 units because, okay, we need to see this line of sight. You can see here this mountain ridge that's sort of forested along the center and valleys on either side. This is important. The height map, you can again see the low valley, the ridge here. I don't know how easy, I mean, they will be able to at some point cross over. The hills, so they can flank us. No, okay, go away. So we're going to deploy these guys up here. And of course, once they get there, they've got to unload their troops. These guys are already unloaded. And we have some of the scouts. Here's SOP, hold fire, unless they must shoot. And most of the other ones. I know, and I don't know the decision why it comes standard as engage at max range. I like use the effective range better. Don't know why that isn't the standard setting, because I have to manually go in and change all that, but there may be good reasons. Yeah, now I've definitely taken the ridge into account, but we can see here I've got the tank here is sort of watching from approach from along here. And let's see, turn this off. I'm gonna come over here. This one, and I'm trying to keep these 2 tanks in line of support here. Again, sort of watching here because this is the objective that we're holding. So sure, it's watching way back here, but it's also watching right in here as an ambush position here. So we've got that. We've got the infantry squad here. So hopefully the 2 tanks will come and ambush units coming through here. The other tanks are coming up to here, and so we're trying to use this here as a similar sort of ambush field here. These guys here, as we can see here, they're trying to use coming out of the forest to either side or coming across from here, because we do have this sort of rear area here to come in. So if they're beating their way through here, something of an ambush position. That's at least my thoughts on all of this. I don't know how well it's going to work. It is sort of, as you can see here, there really isn't like a good place that I thought I could get to from deployment time like here to ambush down much more. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, well, let's turn off that. Let's turn off this. Okay, and we have a couple of target registry points you can see here, and they're the last scenario. I did not use artillery. Wasn't planned on not using artillery. Just sort of the way it happened. Okay, so these guys are now moving out. Pathfinding. And at least the way I take effective range is both potentially effective in its penetration value, but also effective in its this road's going to be a bit of a thing, so I can just see that. And we're going to be a little more artillery aggressive. New fire mission. Okay, select target. let's put it there. Yeah. They're adjusting. It take a while to adjust. That's one thing. Sort of need to. Now, here. Again, we are sort of micromanaging here, but we're going to, let's see, a little ways here. And fire, okay. They're going to adjust for their target. Okay, that's where they are. Let's target. Oh, I'm clicking wrong unit. There we go. Okay, hopefully those two. Right, we're going to use these lighter mortars for over here. That's where we're going to save those for. And so the effective range is, aiming range as well, like for these to hopefully not take wild ass shots, but shots that are likely to hit. So I'm sort of hoping that this is going to be a nice kill zone that will delay them. So far they've not had an effective hit, but they've stopped and are wondering who's shooting at them. To delay them to allow us to artillery. Okay, very good. One's taken out. We got some more APCs over here, but they're way back, and that's fine. Okay, so now we have, they're being engaged with targets way back here. So let's come with our artillery. New fire mission. We're going to set target of that. We haven't set up so this, again back to artillery, first fire mission here. I can their readiness is to fire for effect, which we're not, because we don't see a target in there, but they're ready here. They're adjusting 3 minutes. That may have been too optimistic. Okay, so these guys are ready again. So if I wanted to, here I can select here and type HE, and I could fire here. I can increase the volleys from the gun if I want to. So it's one gun each. Currently rounds one, so they're ready. That may end up being a wasted setup. Okay, so these guys are now moving up in through here. I did sort of micromanage to hopefully get these guys to drive along the nice trees and hopefully not get shot in their advance. Yeah, they're pathfinding good, very good, along the path that I set for them. Okay, these guys have made it to their positions, so they are to unload. Unload. And these guys have taken a divergent pathfinding. I don't know that. Well, maybe that's not bad. It's something of a mystery to us YouTubers how and why certain videos get more views and others don't. And YouTube keeps it a mystery to us. Because I'm talking about what they were saying about, oh, what's the YouTuber? Blue Drake 42. Just because a YouTuber has a lot of subscribers, relatively speaking, sometimes I think it's game dependent. So if most of his subscribers are playing are watching a different game, and he puts up something like Brigade, YouTube may not be recommending it to his subscribers well. Now, of course, it may be just his subscribers see the thumbnail and the video description and decide not to click on it. That can be. But it can also just be YouTube going, yeah, I don't know that these people want to see this. So they don't recommend stuff. Tends to look channels into specific lock channel into... something that not even YouTube understands. That's probably also true, but definitely we YouTubers don't understand. So sometimes you can get a videos will do better than others. Okay, I'm going to wait for a little bit more to come into this fire, but as soon as that fire mission is ready, we will shoot it off. 25 seconds. Okay, so BTR 80s. I don't know if my tanks are going to get to where I want them in time, but they're moving up, and hopefully this will stall them. Okay. Now, artillery, fire mission 2, fire for effect. They're going to. Hopefully now fire for effect. Here we go. And we will volleys plus fire. Now it looks like we're also moving into here. Well, I'm going to sort of try to anticipate them. We're out of volley and we're at fire. As they come into the square there. Okay, so they're coming through these hills here. Oh, you guys need to get out. Unload. And unload. Let's advance to there. No. Last waypoint. Delete last waypoint. Okay. I want to just... These guys advance. Well, let's go to there, I guess. Okay, you only... okay, game renewal. Could be better to concentrate them in one place. Okay. I was sort of saving the other two artillery pieces for dealing with somewhere else. 'Cause I just don't know how effective this is going to be, the artillery generally. Okay, now down here, these guys. Let's see, they're ready, get there. So let's fire for effect there. And that one is, we'll just put a single round down just to sort of mess with the enemy a bit. Okay, so the mortars are firing here. Just the one round. How many rounds do we have? Okay, 81 rounds left. Okay. Artillery fire mission 1. I don't know if we should. Seeing all the little red, enemies, it makes me want to put another fire mission there, but I think we're going to. This is new mission, fire mission, set target. Let's move it a little further forward here, and do that. Oh, yeah, I guess. Minute 30. These guys look like they're going to make it into position. These guys are here, so yeah, that's facing a pretty good direction. So will that be? Oh, do we have? Oh, I didn't even pay attention to that. Yes, so we have DPICM, that's the anti-tank ammunition. Okay, so we have a lot of those rounds. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm just used to using HE, but yeah, I know what those are, and those are really good. Okay, so what, let's see if we could fire mission there. Let's cancel this fire mission here. So, new mission. We'll concentrate. The second gun here. Set type, yes, that will be better. Wasn't even paying attention to that. Just HE. And we'll select the target. We'll sort of overlap these two here. Can't adjust them, but since this is becoming our kill zone right now. So we've knocked out a few things over here. These are Bradleys with tow missiles, which they've already shot a lot of their tow missiles, at least some of them have. Now, I think most Bradleys, they have 2 tow missiles in the launchers. I think they generally had, what, 3 more inside? Now the cavalry, the M3, they had like, I don't know, 6 or more inside the vehicle for a reload drill, but they definitely normally had a reload. I don't know if this game can function with the sort of delayed reload drill after the 2 that were fired from that. And of course it could definitely be the idea that they've already, before this action, used up their, or weren't supplied with extra tow missiles in their vehicles. Okay, you guys are out. You guys advance to here, get into cover. You guys, no. Delete last waypoint. There we go. You come. Let's come to here. Is this going to be a good spot? Yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, you come up to there. Okay, fire mission 1. Ready. Fire. Looks like you're having targets in there. Okay, now that you made this here, made it to your location, that's what I wanted you to do. Okay, remember, we are not defending. These guys are sort of lost leaders. Ouch, to say that. Our goal is to defend back here. So they're sort of in an ambush position here. Well, they are in an ambush position. So what we want to do is rotate that way. So you're looking that way. And you're looking at the right way. Let's just see if we want to micromanage. Now, that's pretty good. So if they get out of this artillery kill zone and advance into here, we hopefully will have good mutual support. And hopefully be able to engage just one enemy at a time as they appear out of the woods. Okay, now let's come back to here on this guy. We're going to hold. He's only fired 1 round. Yeah, I'm not needing to fire more ammo at the moment. So far there's not been much action here. I'm a little surprised that they haven't tried to come up either this road or this road to flank around. Push down into here more. The stowed ammunition for that is loaded after the ammunition ready is used. Okay, you can go to the unit spec screen. The enter key to... Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, they do have 5 stowed. Okay, so they have 5 stowed, 2 ready, which they've already fired. There are 2 that are ready. Readied up, and there is a reload drill. Very good. But their 25mm cannon is also effective against thin armored skin. Okay. We're going to fire this fire mission. Fire for effect. Okay, fire mission 4. Well, not ready yet. Okay. I keep blinking red means that it's ready to fire. Okay, now it's ready to fire. Ready, fire. There is movement over here. Let's see. Okay. BMPs, BTR-80s. I basically have all the Jane's books for like at least I know it covered multiple years. I don't have like every year, but I do have the like around 1989 through to like 92. You know, whether one book for each of the armored fighting vehicles, tanks, small arms, communications equipment, and all that for this time. And I used to read those a lot on all these vehicles. Okay, so they're hitting that hard. Now we're going to do fire mission 1 to fire mission 1, which is HE, but we still have that. 2 volleys. That will also deal well with these infantry here. The HE will. And yeah, I think we want to fire mission 3 also again. Okay, so they've taken out our ATGM teams. We still have the law rockets in there. They're just ordered to fire when it's effective to shoot. Slow these guys up to pound them with artillery here, like we're doing, hopefully effectively. Okay, you can fire for effect there. Okay, fire mission 4. Yes, 2 guns, 2 volleys, fire. So yeah, they're using that road heavily. Starting to move down here though. Oh, these scouts are doing a wondrous job letting me know what's moving along here. Okay, those are really getting hit. Good. Okay, fire mission 1. Fire missions are a big thing for commanders once the battle is sort of set. Okay, good. Taking out an APC, a law rocket could do that quite readily. Okay, another bunch of coming to there. We still have plenty of rounds, so we will yep, fire that. Fire mission as well. Fire mission 4. Okay, again, fire mission 1. And we'll also do fire mission 3. Oh good, they took out another BTR-80. These guys are doing very well for, I mean, they're getting killed, but they're just small law teams. Taking out a bunch of vehicles with all of their, I presume all of their squads, unless they've already got out of the APC already. Okay, good, now they're getting in that kill zone. Okay, now again, so we have a lot of rounds. Let's add another volley. Okay, good to know. Shift control plus. Now, an interesting little thing here. Unlike, say, doing tabletop miniatures of an 18th century battle, in which the commander of the battle can normally sit on his horse, maybe get to a little rise or hill, and see the whole battle. Battlefields got larger, of course. And so, as I understand it, and yes, tabletop miniatures, tabletop size, to some degree dictates the size of the battle when you're talking like micro armor for something like this being played. But also understand here why this commander isn't necessarily just like, oh, there's enemy here, let's go around. Because that would be my instinct right now. if I was the attacking commander. Much earlier, finding that there being engagements, I would say, well, let's drive around this other road and see if we can, send if I still have reconnaissance units available, send one of them around, or send, say, a tank platoon around to feel out the enemy. Now, of course, there is the Soviet idea of mass attack. Simply mass on its own is its own effective battle plan. Sort of like what I have here, in the sense of at the point of contact here, I'm hoping to have, say, 4-1. One enemy comes out into the kill zone, four of us shoot at them. The next single enemy comes out, four of us shoot at them. That kind of thing. So at the point of contact, we are more, is the idea. Though there may be more of them, but at the point of contact, we are more. With the mass concept is to overwhelm that, to have, there will be a first few come out alone maybe, but then the rest just keep coming and mass attack through it. There is that Soviet philosophy, but mine would be to flank around. Well, why wouldn't they be? Because there's another battle going on over here, and there's another, or more other battles over here as well. And this commander, the American commander or the Soviet commander pushing through here, has been told, do not go to outside of these lines, because there are friendly units over here that won't know that it's you. They'll just see, and I love how this game does it. Let's see if we get a good example somewhere. Well, a lot of these we're seeing too clearly because of our scouts, but you get the idea of like armored target. You don't have good target identification. It's just tracked vehicle, it says at times. And so this game does that very well. And so if you talk about that in reality, tracked vehicle M1 Abrams looks a hell of a lot different than, say, a T-55. So you're out in the Iraqi desert, in the 2000s or whatnot, and you're probably not going to likely confuse, some other units. M1 Abrams straying into your field of operations for the enemy. But if it's not so clear, the vehicles aren't quite as easily identifiable through the trees or whatever, they can easily be hit by their own troops. And so they set up battlefield limits. This is just, I know a lot of you already know this, but this is just to explain why we're looking at a narrow focus, because we're looking at this commander's operation and sort of this commander's operation to push through, and they've both been given limits. And if they wouldn't, of course, in reality be the same set of limits, but this commander may also, say, have some other units over here dealing with other stuff or anticipating other stuff, so that he has to watch. This is the units he has available. Just sort of explain why it's such a narrow field and the enemy has to attack through it. Oh, no, they were very unflexible. You're very right. It was often seen in the Afghan war, in which I don't know, at brigade or at divisional level, in the Afghan war, they would set up to do like a helicopter assault on a mountain or something like that, because they were taking fire. Well, by the time the helicopter assault coming in on the mountain, the Afghanis had left, but they were identifiable at some other location, but because it was inflexible, they wouldn't shift the tasking of the hind helicopters that are also carrying troops coming in and doing an airstrike on the mountain on it. That, they could easily see the Afghanis over there, but they were told to hit this mountain, and they, partially just doing what they're told, but also partially there may be targets for some reason they can't see there, so they're attacking the bad or the less effective position when there's more identifiable. And the forward commanders, that are maybe taking the fire on the ground, they are not talking in the loop to the helicopters above them. It's the brigade level, or somebody that's talked to the helicopters and give them their tasking. So the company talks to the battalion commander, the battalion commander talks to the brigade commander, the brigade commander sends out the helicopters on the operation. And so by that time, the realities in the battlefield have changed. So yeah, the Soviets were not flexible in their command and operational style. So they would be given paths of advance and told not to, and trained not to deviate from them. Okay, we're going to hold. They're already holding. I just don't want to overshoot at this one location right now. We're doing very well. These guys are doing very well here. Uh-oh, we've got somebody right in amongst us. Somehow they got past. I guess they drove. I'm guessing they came down this road. Here. Got in amongst our units here and are pushing for this square here. These guys here, they should have, yeah, effective fire range. Come on, take them out. Take them out. Boom. Okay. Boom. Good job. Good job. Yeah, I'm guessing they came, because these guys are told not to shoot, because we want them scouting. We don't want them engaging enemies. So it probably came down, because we definitely saw some hints of movement through here. Okay, these guys are... I'm out of here. We just got artilleried. Looks like more may be coming. Okay. Let's do fire mission 3. Fire mission 3, 47 rounds. Let's go down to 2 volleys. We don't have a huge number of rounds left for the HE. Well, I don't know how good Soviet structure was on strategic level as in comparison to other similar armies at whatever time frame you're looking at. But we have to look at what the Soviets... a lot of their forces were conscripts that weren't trained well. Just because you're conscript doesn't mean that you're a poor troop. Or levels, but training. An uncle of mine served in World War II in the airborne in the Philippines, in an airborne division in the Philippines, and later served as a battalion commander in Vietnam. And I talked to him, he's passed now, but many years ago, about the training levels between his troops that he had in Vietnam versus World War II. And both, although, hey Arno, of course the paratroopers in World War II might have been a bit more self-selecting elite than just regular draftees, but just generally talking about draftee armies. The draftee army, American draftee army in Vietnam, was nowhere near the quality that the army was in World War II, according to him and his experiences. So draftee doesn't mean bad, it just means draftee. Most of the Soviet units weren't well trained. I don't know the names of the units, but in East Germany they did keep basically, I guess, an army in scale, multiple corps. That was highly trained in East Germany. The Soviets did, but most of the Soviet troops in Germany were, the highly trained corps was, long-term service soldiers. They weren't draftees. They weren't just people doing their national service. And so Okay, I'm liking a fire mission up. That's fire mission 1. And so that professional force was pretty good and pretty well trained. The other Soviet soldiers stationed in East Germany were, draftees, better trained than maybe and equipped than the average Soviet division, or whatever scale you want to look at it, but not quite up to that scale. So that is a critical element. If you don't have a lot of training, it's really hard to execute flexible situations, because you have to have people that can make good T-62s, okay. Good command decision making that flows well with other units. And so you don't want 3 commanders all deciding, well, they've got to move to a really nice tactical spot. And it may be really nice, but you only need 1 battalion, company, brigade moving to that spot. You don't need 3 of them all deciding, coming in from 3 different directions, hey, this would be the great place to attack, when you only need 1 of the battalions attacking there, and you need the other 2 doing something else, and maybe not as an ideal position, but in a useful thing, in that type of thing. So it's what's the term? Friction. They want to keep friction down. Combat causes unit friction. And so you don't want to have something that has too much friction on it. Okay, we're going to fire mission that 1, fire mission 4. Again, let's see what we can drop in. I don't know when or if I should shift fire missions, whether make them larger or just simply move them this way. I want to blow up the town. Are we doing good enough here? Limited ammo for training, yes, and also, of course, training. Simulators, like tank simulators and other simulators, really didn't exist in any effective way back then. Hello, Urbis, how you doing? Yeah, physical training, you always get somebody to run around, run over an obstacle course or whatnot. But I'm also talking, and definitely, oh, very good. What did we just, okay, destroyed a T-62 main battle tank from M2 Bradley. Definitely, infantry level skills are an important thing, most assuredly, but it's also training various levels of unit commanders to work together, to function well in a stressful environment of combat. I don't know, should I? Okay, well, okay, we don't have any air, I just wondered if we did. Well, I guess I'm not really worried about this yet down here. Got these guys. I don't know if I should shift. Okay, let's do fire mission. This is fire mission 1, yes. Fire mission 1. Set target. Let's sort of anticipate them. Nuke the enemy. Okay, Arno. Operation Unthinkable, but it's the 1980s and the Soviets are attacking first. Well, yes, NATO did not really have plans on wanting to go to war with the Soviet Union. It was only if they thought, for whatever reasons, gathering intelligence, current events, watching the Soviets do something, do a weird mobilization or whatnot, like if you start seeing huge amounts of trains coming in from the Soviet Union heading to their western front of the Warsaw Pact, they might, they may be getting ready for an attack against us because they've never, moved all these units from the center of the USSR or something forward. They may be getting ready to do it. Oops, because of world tension, we better attack now, before they're ready. That very well may have happened. NATO might have decided to go on the aggressive stance at that point. But mostly NATO was set up to be defensive. I would disagree. They didn't want to go to nuclear war. The Soviet Union didn't want to go to nuclear war with NATO. I firmly believe the Soviet Union wanted to spread communism internationally to everywhere in the world, and they were effectively at war. We're getting pounded with artillery over here, lovely. At war with NATO constantly, but they were smart Sun Tzu warriors and using warfare by other means in their peace movements. Ban the bomb, if any of you guys are old enough to know about all that. And those, and complaining about when Americans were deploying new weapon systems to Europe, particularly nuclear weapon systems to Europe. And that was a form of warfare that was going on. Oh, no, it's ready. Okay. Fire mission 1. Yep, 2 volleys will do that. Fire. So they were, doing operations in that type of realm, or political warfare, informational warfare, in which, the U.S. did have Radio Free America and whatnot going on, but never really in my opinion, to the extent the Soviet Union. Okay. Hit a weak point. Okay, not good, but he's reloaded. So we still have 1 tank down here. And that's just my viewpoint of what was going on, but I think it's an accurate one. So if you read Sun Tzu, and fight battles, when Sun Tzu talks about them, he's talking like major battles, not skirmish warfare. But Waterloo, Austerlitz, Ramillies, Blenheim, whatever, major battles. The general who wins best fights no battles. Compels the enemy to do what they want without fighting the battle, maybe by skirmishing, raiding the enemy's advanced columns in the rear, back in the sort of Sun Tzu idea of things. Okay, here we need to set up some fire missions here. No, I'm rethinking this. We wanted to spread communism during Lenin rule, during Stalin, and later the goal was building the communists in countries, through such big countries, they have zones of influence, hence proxy wars. Yeah, proxy wars, but I look at the Afghan invasion and others of in the post-Stalinist regime eras. There was such a push into wherever they could. I don't want to just say the third world because, I mean, just again, if you guys don't know, and I know a lot of you are, I know sort of I'm talking to an educated bunch of people on this. The first world was the Western world. The second world was sort of the Warsaw Pact world, and the third world was the rest of the world. We're pushing in wherever they could. You see things like in Korea under Stalin. I think that was Stalin. Boy, or was that after? Was that a bit later? But then you see massive efforts in supporting the Vietnam Wars, Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, massive builds up in places like Ethiopia, Cuba. The Soviets were actively spreading. And I think building communism in separate country is more propaganda, trying to use local nationalism, if you will. But I think they were would have eventually, had they succeeded, centralized it under one leadership. Whether that would have stayed in Moscow or moved to some other place upon success, I don't know. NATO was a good opportunity to attack, meaning when NATO was weak enough. Absolutely. The moment never came. Absolutely. Well, I don't see the NATO really wanting to invade the Soviet Union. And whether it was the fear of okay, we're going to shift these guys. Their borders are a bit no. It'll take a while to adjust. I know. I sort of want to put it here, but well, let's put it. No, not some. Put it over here. I'm around this way. I want to put it on where my own troops sort of are, but I'm not going to do that because it may have been the fear of a nuclear counterstrike, but we definitely see significant operations that could have happened either with like the various Czech revolt or the Hungarian uprisings that NATO could have much more forcibly. We're going to fire mission again. Fire. And so since we don't see that, okay, fire mission, artillery fire mission 4, we're going to set target over here. Minute 30, that's maybe a little too long. Yes, I want to drop it right on these soldiers. Maybe this should have been on some other ridge line like these guys. Yeah, you're right about that. The political structure in NATO was for okay, fire mission 3. There's units moving into there. Was, I think tactically very sort of responsive. Meaning if things were going bad, if things either politically are going badly with the Soviet Union, or there is a reason for fire for effect, you know, an attack starting, they would have acted dynamically and rapidly. But I could definitely see, like, the decision to intervene in one of the uprisings in the Eastern Europe be a political situation in which would have taken a lot to try to work out. Sort of watching the clock here because we're almost out of time for the stream. South Korea during the late 40s over fears they would attack the North. Yeah. So we sort of... There's definitely the Korea situation is an interesting one. Okay, they push through our scouts, which are keeping us from... sort of firing on that location, and I'm playing realistically hold fire, I think. The US was entirely unprepared, and hence South Korea entirely unprepared for the North Korean advance into South Korea. And that was also a very, very important lesson for the Soviet Union. I don't know if everyone understands what really sort of happened there with Korea was Korea attacks. I forget exactly what the cause was, but there was some cause that made the Soviets, we're going to readjust Ichi here, made the Soviets boycott the UN, some, you know, whatever Soviet sort of thing. We're boycotting the UN, and so they were boycotting on the day that the UN Security Council decides to intervene in the Korean War. That taught the Soviets to never boycott the UN and really focus the Soviets on the use of the UN as a, I'll call it a political weapon. And so they went in heavily. Hey, Toy Jet. They went in heavily into dealing with those nations there. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, we're going to have to end this stream here. I want to, but we're going to save this. We will, in a couple of weeks, be streaming more Armored Brigade. So we will continue this, and I'll have, yes, and yes, you're coming tonight. Yes, just double check. XTRG is coming up after me. I wanted to hype that up, and so that you know that he's coming. I mean, very, very quickly. So don't go away. Good stuff. Fun to listen to. Thank you. Thanks. I'm always messing up your name. Vedka Studios for a good game and supporting the stream and everything. So boycott over nationals. Okay, nationals Chinese. That's right. Thank you, Krupa Drug. So yeah, I'll be ending the stream now here.